Hi guys, welcome back. This is my Swordsoul profile for the upcoming format. If anyone was still wanting to play Swordsoul, this is just my take on it. Unfortunately, Swordsoul does get a little bit power crept by the new cards. They're not unplayable by any means, but people might find that they don't keep as much pace as they used to with some of the meta decks. I still think it's a really good deck. I think given the right environment and a bit of luck, we'll probably still see these in topping a lot of regionals and local tournaments. Not much has changed. Well, I mean, it's been 7 months since my original deck profile, so a lot of the deck has changed from my original profile, but this is still pretty similar to what it was before the new format, just maybe there's a couple of hand traps changed to reflect their usage. Not got a side deck built for this. This would just be how I would run the main deck personally, and the extra deck, which is pretty much the same. But I'll go through it. Like I said, you know, this is how I would play it in this format. Not that I'm an expert or a pro player. This is just my casual slash locals player opinion on the matter. So you're still playing, you know, you're still playing free Moyo. Like I said, you know, draw one, and everyone knows what Moyo does by now. I think you'd still play free. I know one of my friends who plays Swordsoul, I never played one Moyo. That was a personal preference, but I think you should still be playing free. Of course, you should still be playing free long one. You know, free at level 10, too good, and the nice win con in time is still always very nice. And 2 tire. I think everyone's finally now decided that 2 tire is the way to go. I know some lists were playing with 1 at one point. Again, my friend who plays free, but I definitely think 2 is the correct ratio. I know one card that was causing a bit of debate in some of the Swordsoul community was whether it's 2 or 3 Ecclesia. I personally like 3 Ecclesia. I did try 2, but I feel like sometimes just having, when you're going second, seeing this in your hand is really nice and can play through quite a few disruptions. Obviously, you still play 3 Emergence and 1 Blackout. I was playing Summit for the longest time. I do flit in and out of playing it and not playing it. I tend to change my mind and flip-flop on it. At the moment, I'm playing without. Before the new format changed, I did manage to win 2 of my local tournaments without Summit. So I don't know if that's a reflection or anything on playing it without, because I never managed to actually win a locals whilst using Summit. But I think it's just, again, a bit of a luck of the draw on the day, and you know, just things being a bit more favourable. But that's the Swordsoul lineup. For the 10-year lineup, again, so this is something that I flip-flopped between. So at one point I was playing 2 Vishuda, 2 Adhara. I think that was what my last profile was. I soon learned that playing 3 of each and the 1 Shafana is the correct ratio. Mainly because since my last profile there was a ban list and Desires is now back at 2. I don't think you can play Adhara or Vishuda at 2 with Desires. It's too risky that you end up banishing all the copies and you've got no way to get them back. I think this is the correct way to play. Obviously, when you know you're going first or going second, you might tutor the Adhara or the Vishuda, depend, you know, which would suit. You know, you want more Vishuda going second and maybe another 1 less going first and 1 less going second. I think this is the correct ratio of 10 years. You know, I think this is the right way. Obviously, they've all got nice ultra rarity bumps in Ghost from the past 2 a few months ago, which is always nice. So I think my last one there was all rare, and now they're all nice gold ultra rares, which is nice. So going on to the hand traps, so free Ash Blossom, free Ogre, free Imperm. So I'm only playing 9 hand traps because the deck's tight enough as it is. So I've decided to opt it down to 9, 3 or 9 of the ones that will do the most. Imperm will be good for Sprite, sorry. Ghost Ogre's good against Sprite. Ash is good against Sprite. It's good against some of the good against Tier. It's good against Tier. Average against Tier, but good against some Adventurer or Dragon Link. I just think these are none of the best. These are the best ones to be playing at the moment. Bar Crow. If I could fit Crow in as well, I would, but I can't. So I'll probably have to sit in the side. But these are the 9 that I've gone with. And then for spells and traps that aren't archetype, well, this one is archetypal. I have, since my last profile, I think I was running 2 and 1 or 2 and 2 last time. I've just gone for free circles still. Going forwards, you could potentially put it to a 2 and 2 again. I felt like Vessel was just either massive ash bait, or you're playing into the combo line that would lead you to getting the Beerud. I still think this is better, because again it dodges Imperm, dodges Veiler, dodges Ogre. Well, yeah, it does dodge Ogre. Whereas Vessel is just Ash, or play into those people that are still playing the Beerud. I think this is the correct for the time being. I've not heavily tested this in this format, in all honesty. This is how I believe it will be good. I might try this at my next locals. I'd have to see. But yeah, free circle, 2 desires. You know, it's at 2. You're going to play it at 2. Can it come back to 3? I think it can, personally. You know, it's not without its cost. You have to banish 10. You know, and the only deck that wants you to banish is a Great Margie deck. I think it'd be okay back at 3. If Prosperity is allowed to be at 3, this should be at 3. Yeah, I mean, it helps you draw your engine. So I'm still main decking 3 Rivalry and the one called by. If you go first Rivalry, it's good against Sprite, because, you know, you've locked them into Thunder, locked them into Aqua, or some of the other random types that you get in there extra, and it just turns them off. Normal against Tier, if they summon Rhino Heart, you flip this, locked into Warrior. There's not much more they can do on that. You know, and Rivalry is just a good card. It was really good last format as well, and the one called by, because, you know, just stop any hand traps. But yeah, that's the main deck. I believe that was 43. Now I'm gonna show off my tokens, because I'm very proud of my tokens. Didn't have these last time I did a deck profile. So obviously you got one for Mo, one for Tyre, one for Long One, and then I've actually got a special token printed for Blackout. So when you banish the Blackout, it's a Blackout token, and just a generic Swordsoul token. I got these off of a person on the Yu-Gi-Oh! And Europe trading group on Facebook. I want to say his name was Ryan Watson, I'm not sure, but he would definitely be worth, if you want to, you know, still continue to play Swordsoul and get some really nice tokens to go with it, he would definitely be a person to look up. Failing that, if you just type Swordsoul token in the Facebook trade group, I'm sure you'll find where these were being sold. I really like them. I always get compliments on them, and they just look really nice. And for the extra deck, we have 2. Oh, where's that gone? Oh, I'm missing one. There it is. Sorry, apologies. So yeah, I'm playing 2 Zhizhao, 1 Qixing, and 1 Chengying. You know, it's a standard ratio. You know, negate, banish, well, not towers, but indestructible, and banish, and just big beater. Yeah, what more can you say? Everyone should know what these cards do by now. This is the correct ratio. Not to mention all 3 of them just look fantastic on their artwork. I think some of the edge, obviously, that Swordsoul loses is some of these decks just spam out so much special summon, or Cheesing loses a bit of its power to the point where, you know, sometimes if you interrupt their most crucial special summon, that was it. Whereas now it's a bit like, well, against Sprite, you banish one, they just summon more. So it'll be a lot more crucial when you use the cheesing. A lot of the new decks don't do any banishing, so this is turned off unless you do it during your turn, and Xizhao can still turn off some crucial negates, but again, it's kind of a one and done type thing. But yeah, 2 Baxia and 1 Yazi. I forget how important Yazi can be going second. The amount of times I've summoned it and someone's tried to Veiler it and they haven't read the fact that this can't be targeted. So this is it. You can't imperm this. You can't Veiler this. You can't. Well, you can ogre it, but you can't. But it doesn't get destroyed. Oh no. Well, if it's destroyed by opponent's card effect, it gets its effect anyway. So this is so crucial going second sometimes. Obviously this is good for OTK, and going first, maybe building a light lock with Xiaofeng. Again, unfortunately, Xiaofeng loses a bit of its power going forward, unless you manage to make it using a Yazi, which requires a bit more level manipulation with the emergence to lock out the I'm not sure elements are dark. I could be wrong. Some of them are dark, I'm pretty sure. And surprisingly, actually, a lot of sprites are dark. So you'll be surprised. I mean, they can still summon themselves from hand because the summon's not activatable, but it turns off some of their effects. So that, you know, it could be a little hidden tech going forward. And then for the last of the synchros, also, sorry, Xiaofeng, really good at tutoring out the specific hand trap that you need if you need to when it's popped or it attacks. So if it's... Sorry, when it destroys a monster, it can just summon a worm. When it's destroyed and goes to the graveyard, it can search you a tuner, which is normally going to be your hand trap. So of course you still run Baron, Psychic End Punisher, and Draco Berserker. Psychic End Punisher won me a few games last format. Obviously this wasn't around when I did the last profile. Really good card. It's not as unoutable as people think. Like, at the end of the day, you just run into it, take a bit of damage, and then your life points is lower, and then your opponent can out it that way. However, if it's a simplified game state, you know, this is just a real pain to get rid of. You know, you don't need to say much about Baron. Baron is Baron, and then you've got Draco Berserker. That's all the synchros there. And then going forward, obviously, I think last time might have been playing Hauk, but now it's 3 Monk, 1 Shaman. I never fully appreciated how good Shaman is. Sorry, a bit of dirt on the sleeves. I never appreciated how good Shaman can be when any of your other players get interrupted. I'm fully converted. I will never cut Shaman again. It's just good to be able to sometimes go for the remaining life points damage, bring back the Monk to then pop a card. Or if your Moye gets stops and you've got Tyre in hand, you can just discard, you know, go into that, bring Shaman out, and then bring back the Tyre. It's just good recursion. I will never cut Shaman again. I will never cut Shaman again. Still pretty standard. There's not really much wiggle room really in the extra deck for Swordsoul, which again is part of the reason why it will be power crept a little bit, because it is very standard. You know, you can put other synchros in, but you know, there's no synchros really fully factored in that you can change that will make a massive impact against the decks. I mean, Crimson Blader, which was one tech, is no good against Sprite. It might be good against Element to a point, but you know, and that's part of the problem. A lot of it will come down to your side decking, you know, what tech cards you put in, you know, how well you open, how well your opponent opens. I will still stick with Swordsoul. I will never get rid of it. It's one of my favourite ever decks I've ever played in Yu-Gi-Oh! Probably one of my most competitive decks I've ever been on. I still love the deck. I'm hoping Konami leaves it alone on the ban list. I can't see any reason why they would be hit now, as they've naturally been power crept. However, we know what Konami can be like sometimes. They might get hit out of left field on the emergence or one of the 10 years. It would hurt me to see that happen, but I would understand it to a point, because if they hit some of the other decks, then automatically this will slowly start to creep up being one of the better decks again. But I feel like it can be left alone for at least one more ban list, and just see what it does, see how it adapts to the new meta. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty standard. It's the same as it always was. It will be side deck reliant. But let me know what you think. Leave a like in the leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Dislike it if you didn't. Leave a comment if you have your own opinions on where Swordsoul should be going in this format. If what you would change. If there are any techs I'm missing out on in the main or the extra deck. What are your side deck options? And thank you for watching. Obviously, any person who views my videos is greatly appreciated. But leave a comment to let me know what you think. Thank you, and see you on the next one.